I friends had out 2 cards each from a set of 12 cards from 1 to 12, inclusive, and then the friends declare the sum of the values of their 2 cards. Paolo scores a 4, Quinn 11, Romy 16, Stephen 19, Thomas 20. Just going to write down the numbers from 1 to 12 along the bottom. So a good idea in questions like this is to look at the higher or the lower amounts because there's going to be less ways to achieve them. Like 16, there's going to be lots of ways. 12 and 4, 5 and 11 and so on. But actually the only way that Paolo could have obtained a 4 would be with a 1 and a 3. That must be the case. We can rule that out. 11 is quite a big step up. There's lots of ways to get that. So I'm going to leave that one and look at the upper limit. Thomas is 20. So Thomas could either get a 12 and an 8 or an 11 and a 9. So there's 2 options here. And what I'm going to do now is, actually I'm going to do that one in green just to distinguish the two. We're going to look at each case in turn and see if everything works out or if there's like, if it can't actually be made. So let's take a look at 11 and 9 first of all. They're out. Right, for Stephen to get 19 then, 10 can't go with anything, and nor can 8. It would have to be 12 and 7. I can get rid of them. And then for Romy to get 16, it have to be 6 and 10. So they're out. Now for Quinn to get 11 from 2, 4, 5, and 8, actually that is not possible, which means that this wasn't the case overall. We can rule out the 11 and 9 and all the subsequent cards. So it must have been that Thomas had 12 and 8. And actually I can cross them out now because this like if it's going to work, this has to be the case. So now for Stephen to get 19, it would have to be 10 and 9. Because we've already used the 8s, so it can't be 11 and 8, and 7 can't go with anything. 10 and 9. Romy with 16 is going to have to be 11 and 5. Okay, all good so far. Finally, 11. It's got to be 7 and 4. So that leaves us 6 and 2 that are not used. Okay, which of the following statements is true? Paolo does not have card 2. Quinn does not have card 3. Romy definitely does have card 5. And Stephen doesn't have 7 and Thomas doesn't have 11. So our answer is C.